Good morning, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. Excuse me. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime occurred and more likely than not that you're the person that committed the crime. Of course, as you stand before me today, you are presumed to be innocent. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the state attorney's office can prove the charges against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release, that is your bail or your bond. Most of you had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be, and if you'd like to have the services of the Public Defender's Office, I'll gladly appoint the Public Defender to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Everybody raise your right hand. You all solemnly swear, affirm, tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Very good. When you hear your name called, I'd like you to step forward to the podium. Ashley Ogle. Morning, Ashley. What's your date of birth?
4/28/85.
Ashley, there's 4 charges this morning. Possession of methamphetamine, possession of a controlled substance, which I think was clonazepam, grand theft, and resisting without violence. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, do you wish to represent yourself? Do you plan on hiring private counsel? Would you like me to appoint you an attorney from the Public Defender's Office?
Appoint an attorney.
I'll appoint the Public Defender. State what you tell me.
She has open charges in Pasco County for theft and paraphernalia, failure to appear in 2016, and then she has multiple out-of-state charges for no disposition.
Okay. Ashley, where have you been staying lately?
Wherever I can.
Okay. Is there any place in particular where you get mail?
No, I have my mom's address.
What's your mom's address?
13137 Sweet Gum Road.
Okay. And do you have a job these days?
No.
I'm going to leave the bonds per the schedule, which is $2,000 on the 3 felonies and $1,000 on the misdemeanor. The total is $7,000. You'll be back in court on the 31st of July. If you bond out, you should go and see the public defender right away. If you're unable to bond out, they will come see you before your court date, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ashley Nichols. Morning, Miss Nichols. What's your date of birth?
10/7/84.
All right, Ms. Nichols, we have 3 charges this morning. I've got fraudulent use of a credit or debit card, identity theft, and a petty theft. There is probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Appoint an attorney.
I'll appoint the public defender. State, what can you tell me?
2014 order to show cause, 2011 petty theft times 2, possession of controlled substance in 09, possession of controlled substance in 03.
And Ashley, I have an address for you on Kingmont Street in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
About a year.
Do you have a job these days?
I'm a caregiver, but I'm 7 months pregnant, so I have to stop working soon.
Okay. On the petty theft, I'll leave the bond at the $500. That one's coming back on the 2nd of August. On the fraudulent use of a credit card and the identity theft, I will set those at $500 each, so your total all the way around is $1,500. Those second and third charges are coming back on the 31st of July, so you have 2 different court dates in 2 different courts. If you get out, you should make sure that you go and see the public defender right away. If you can't get out, they're going to come see you at the jail before your court dates, all right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jody Durham. Morning, Jody. What's your date of birth?
5/25/79.
Jody, you're here on a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State what you tell me.
She has no history.
And Jody, I have an address for you on Maplehurst Way in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, correct.
How long have you lived there?
At that address, about a year.
Okay. And Mr. Breen lives there as well?
Correct.
Do you have a job these days?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes, I do.
You have to get a little closer to the mic, Jody. I can't hear you.
Yes, I do.
What do you do?
I'm a mail carrier.
Okay. Jody, I'm going to set your bond at $10. Condition of the bond is that you'll have peaceful contact only with Mr. Breen. It's always a crime to touch him anyway. He doesn't want to be touched. It could be a violation of the conditions of pretrial release to have any contact with him that cannot be described as peaceful contact. You don't have to have contact with him, but if you do have contact, it must be peaceful. You understand that?
I do.
And kind of just to avoid any confusion, because he's on the docket too, but he also has an open DD case where there's an active no contact order with her.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure they understand that.
Right. Yeah, you shouldn't have been having contact, but that is more of an issue for Mr. Breen than it is for you. So like I said, it may be that contact is going to be out of the question anyway, but if you got to a position where you could legally have contact with him, it must be peaceful. I'll have you back in court on the 2nd of August, Jody. Make sure that you go and see the public defender when you get out, all right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jason Breen. Morning, Mr.
Morning,
Breen.
Your Honor.
What's your date of birth?
8/23/77.
All right, Mr. Breen. We have two charges this morning. We've got the battery being domestic in nature and resisting without violence. There's probable cause for those. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, Your Honor.
I'll appoint the public defender. And state looks like he has an open case.
He does. He was actually in court with us just last week on the 28th, where the listed victim is Ms. Durham. So, and there was an active no contact order as far as I can tell, so they should not have been together.
And is that coming back for a pretrial then?
Yeah, it was. It's set, I believe, on the beginning of August.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. All right, so Mr. Breen, your situation is going to be a little different, obviously, because you have the open case and an open order of no contact. It's possible that that will result in additional charges to the ones that you have here this morning, but that will be for the state attorney's office to decide. As far as these charges, I'm going to set your bond on the battery at $500 and the bond on the resisting at $1,000. But then, because of course you were out on pretrial release on another criminal charge, job one when you're out on pretrial release is do not commit additional charges. It appears to me that you have. Therefore, pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471, I'm going to revoke your pretrial release in your open case, which is 171966MM. I'm going to hold you without bond on that case at least until the 3rd of August when that one's coming back. I'm going to move these cases to the 3rd of August, so they'll be coming back all at the same time. Public defender is going to come see you at the jail, so that if there's a way to get these cases resolved prior to the 3rd, they'll let me know, but it may be that you're there till the 3rd. While you're in the jail, you will not call or write Ms. Durham from the jail. If you try to call her or write her from the jail, every instance of that could be another charge. It could also be criminal contempt, for which you could face 6 months in the county jail for each attempt to call or write. So at least until the 3rd of August, you're not having any contact with Ms. Durham. Is that clear?
Your Honor, may I speak?
If you think it's going to change your bond conditions or you're getting released from jail today, then don't bother because there's no words you could string together that'll make that happen. If you feel compelled to say something, you can. I wouldn't speak about last night's incident either if I were you, but feel free.
No, Your Honor, I just I've been over the road. I just got my CDL. I just qualified Friday, and I'm supposed to leave tomorrow, actually.
Okay, like I said, that's not going to happen. Job number one that you had was don't pick up new charges, and here we are. So August 3rd, everything will be back. PD will come see you before then. Thank you. Samuel Anaya. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
9/20/1971.
Samuel, the charges are fraudulent use of a credit or debit card and identity theft. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD, state.
The only recent conviction I can tell you about is a 2004 felony marijuana charge.
Okay. And that's recent.
Yeah, that's the next one before that's 94.
Okay. Sam, I've had an address for you on Kingmont Street in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
About a year.
Do you have a job these days?
Yes, I do.
What do?
I work for BRW Contractors, construction work, Your Honor.
Okay.
I've never missed a day of work until today.
All right. I'm going to set your bond at $500 on each count, Sam, so the total is $1,000. I'll have you back in court on the 31st of July. When you get out, make sure you go see the public defender, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Joseph Bisonet. Morning, Joe. What's your date of birth?
1/23/58.
Joe, the charge is driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like a public defender?
Public defender, sir.
I'll appoint the PD. State what you tell me.
He's not super good at coming to court. He has 2 failures to appear in 2017 for driving-related charges, failure to appear in 2011, another one in 2011, an aggravated assault in 2010, 2009 DUI, and 2009 DVI.
Okay. And Joe, where are you staying lately?
I'm homeless right now, sir.
Okay. You staying with anybody? You living outdoors? What's going on?
Living outdoors over near a friend's house.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
I'm disabled, sir.
Okay. Joe, I'm going to leave the bond at the $1,000. I'm going to have you back in court on the 2nd of August. If you're able to get out, you should go see the public defender. If you can't get out, they're going to come see you at the jail before your court date, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Lindy Carter. Mr. Carter, what's your date of birth?
8/13/82.
Mr. Carter, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Toner. Apparently you failed to appear in his court on 3 charges, 2 counts of possession of controlled substance, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia. Did you have a lawyer on those cases, Lindy?
I had a public defender.
Would you like to continue with the public defender?
Yes, sir.
I'll continue the appointment of the public defender. Judge Toner set your bonds at $8,000, $8,000, and $4,000 respectively. I can't change those. That's a total of $20,000. We'll have you back in front of Judge Toner on the 31st of July. If you're able to bond out, you should go see the public defender right away. If you can't bond out, of course, they'll come see you at the jail before your court date, all right?
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you. Clifford Gibson. Morning, Clifford. What's your date of birth?
3/23/81.
Clifford, I have 3 issues this morning. I have 1 count of possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, and then 2 probable cause arrests for violation of probation. There is probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender right now.
Okay. I'm going to appoint the public defender. On the 2 VOP cases, of course, the bond will be no bond. I'm going to have those back on the 21st of July. They told you the 31st, but we're going to have them back on the 21st so we can get you back in front of Judge Merritt. And then on the new case, I'll leave the bond for the schedule, which is the $10,000. I will also appoint the public defender on that one and also have that one back on the 21st of July, so all your cases are coming back on the same day. Public defender is going to come see you before the 21st, okay?
Okay, so there's 2 VOPs?
Yeah, 2 counts.
What?
It may be 1 case with 2 counts, Clifford. I'm not sure. It looks like it's
Yeah,
2. It looks like it's 2 cases.
Okay, yeah, because I got rid of all the guns and everything, and I didn't know there was ammo in some of the drawers.
Okay. Well, the PD will come see you, Clifford. That's who you want to talk to, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. That was a probation search.
Joshua Gleason. Morning, Mr. Gleason. What's your date of birth?
1681.
Mr. Gleason charges burglary of a dwelling. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State, what can you tell me?
2015 criminal mischief, 2011 DUI for some other arrests and no other convictions.
And Clifford, where you been staying lately?
Got the wrong guy.
I'm sorry, Joshua.
I was staying at the Ridge Manor Motel.
Okay. When did you leave there?
Been staying there. I was getting Monday. I worked for Calmaine and all that. I still live there.
Okay. You have a job these days then?
Yeah, I got to ship some eggs to Walmart, Publix, and Wendy's. I work for Calmaine. They got to have a truck here about 1 o'clock.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $2,000. I'll have you back in court on the 31st of July. If you get out, make sure you go see the PD. Otherwise, they're going to come see you at the jail, all right?
All right.
Thank you. Ronald Rice. Morning, Mr. Rice. What's your date of birth?
5/15/70.
Mr. Rice charges criminal mischief. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
PD, please.
I'll appoint the public defender. State.
He has some very old out-of-state cases, but you might recognize Mr. Rice since we had a trial where he was the defendant back in, I think, November.
Right. And Mr. Rice, I have an address for you on this is Buchak Road in Brooksville.
Should be a private counsel.
Yes.
And how long have you lived there?
3 months.
Do you have a job these days?
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm an electrician for McDonald's.
Okay. And do you live with Miss McDade Ray?
No.
Okay. All right. We'll set your bond at $500. Condition is that you have no contact with her, so no contact with her of any kind. Do you understand that?
Yes.
I will have you back in court on the 2nd of August. Make sure you go see the PD when you get out, okay?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Nikolai Shepfer. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
8/11/73.
All right, sir. The charge is driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I'm public defender, yeah.
I'll appoint the PD. And it looks like he has an open case.
I didn't show that. Let's see. This is Mr. Chauffeur. Looks like, yes, he does. 2017 CT 1807, DWSR, no motorcycle endorsement. Looks like that was, offense date was 5/11/17 on that.
Okay. It's coming back. That's coming back on the 14th. Okay. All right, any other history?
He has an out-of-state failure to appear on a drug charge. That's the only other history I showed.
Okay. And Nikolai, I've got an address for you on Waterfall Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
8 months.
Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir. I climb trees.
Okay. State, do you have any idea what your resolution might be on these? If you wanted to resolve them both?
They gave me just a second. It looks like his offer on his original case was simply an adjudication of court costs, so if he wanted to do time to resolve both of them, he'd be fine.
Okay, how much?
5 days.
All right, Nikolai, here's the spot you find yourself in. You've got this charge. You have another open case in front of me for the same thing. As you've heard earlier this morning, what I normally do with folks in that situation is revoke the pretrial release in the other case and leave them in jail until they get back to court. In your case, that's the 14th of July, which would be 9 days from now. The State Attorney's Office is offering to resolve both of your cases, the old one and this new one today, with 5 days in the county jail. You already have 2, so you would be done in 3 days. Otherwise, if you don't want to take that, quite frankly, I'm going to revoke your bond and you'll be in jail until the 14th. It's not much of a choice, I understand, but if you'd like to resolve your cases today with 5 days, you can do that. If you want to talk to a lawyer first, then I'm going to go ahead and revoke your bond in the old case. So what would you like to do?
So if I do 3 more days, then
both cases are done, right?
I'll just do the 3 days.
All right. You understand by entering pleas in these cases, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, but you want the right to have a lawyer represent you, but you want to give up those rights so we can resolve both of these cases today?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's start with the older case, which is 17 CT 1807, as to the charge that you drove without the proper endorsement on your license. How do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest.
I'll accept that plea. Find is freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 5 days in the county jail with credit for 2 days served. In that case, there'll be a fine and court cost of $438 and your cost of incarceration. In the case before us this morning, as to the charge that you drove knowing your license was suspended or revoked, how do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest.
I'll accept that plea. Find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 5 days in the county jail, running concurrently with 17 CT 1807. Also with credit for 2 days served, there'll be a fine and court cost, in this case of $438, but no cost of incarceration. That takes care of both cases, Nikolai, so you just need to do the other 3 days. They'll both be done, and you don't have to come to court on the 14th, okay?
Okay.
Very good. Thank you. Eric, Kenny? Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
3/10/88.
Eric, you're here on a warrant signed by, pardon me, Judge Toner. He found probable cause for a violation of community control. But it looks like, Christy, it looks like it's a Judge Merritt case. Is that right? Okay. It certainly says that on the warrant.
It's in our system. It's assigned to Toner.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry then. Eric, as to that charge, you want the public defender?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Pardon me. I'll appoint the public defender. Bond, of course, is no bond. I'll have you back in court on the 31st of July. Public defender will come see you before then, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Michael Stagarakis. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
02/22/1979.
Good. And Michael, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for violation of probation. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Fine, public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on the warrant, of course, is no bond. I'll have you back in front of Judge Merritt on the 21st of July. They told you the 31st. We'll have you back on the 21st. Public defender will come see you before then, okay?
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. William Volker. Morning, William. What's your date of birth?
7/16/75.
William, I have 3 charges this morning. Possession of methamphetamine, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'm sorry?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, state.
He's got a 2017 failure to appear, 16 DVI. He did 3 years DOC on a trafficking charge in 09. 2009 failure to appear, 2008 marijuana, and then it goes back for a long way. He's first arrested back in 94, so
Okay.
it's pretty extensive.
And William, where you been staying lately?
I just actually rented a room on Kimball Court last week.
William, I need you to get a little closer to the microphone. I'm sorry.
I just found a room for rent last week.
Do you know the address?
No, sorry.
Do you have a job these days?
I just got a job also last week, captaining a shrimp boat.
Okay. All right. I'm going to leave your bonds per the schedule, which is $2,000 on the meth and $1,000 on each of the misdemeanors for a total of $4,000. These charges will be back on the 31st of July. If you bond out, make sure you go see the public defender. Otherwise, they'll come see you at the jail. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Samuel Ward. Morning, Mr. Ward. What's your date of birth?
06/1994.
Charge this morning is possession of methamphetamine. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD, state.
Your Honor, he has a 2016 meth case, and he just recently did 10 months county jail on 14 grand theft, a 14 meth case, did 10 months on that one too. 2013 meth case, and I don't have the time he did on that. This is, looks like a case that they reduced from down to a contributing delinquency of a minor case, and that, I think, is the end of it. That was in 2013.
All right. Sam, I have an address for you on Mark Road in Dade City. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
Probably 4 years now.
You have a job these days?
Yes, sir, I do.
What do you do?
Right now I work for R&R Trucking in Dade City.
Okay.
Help mechanic helper.
I'm going to leave your bond for the schedule, which is the $2,000. We'll have you back in court on the 31st of July. If you get out, make sure you go see the PD. Otherwise, they're going to come see you at the jail, all right?